You won't find this case in any database. We buried it, paper trail and all. After 28 years in the Bureau, there's one night that still wakes me up. My name is Harold Kemp. I was with the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, but back in 2004, I was assigned as a field consultant in Maryland, helping local law enforcement with a string of violent crimes in Charles County. That summer, the sheriff's office called us out to Friendship Farm Road. A body had turned up. No ID, no wallet, no phone. He was dressed like he'd stepped out of a Civil War reenactment. High boots, wool coat, brass buttons. But the boots were made with rubber soles, modern. The coat was stitched by hand, but with synthetic thread. Nothing matched. No wounds, no cause of death, just a terrified expression frozen on his face. Here's where it gets strange. The blood on his coat wasn't his. It came from 10 different individuals, all human, all different types, including one that was AB negative, which is rare. None of it matched any open cases. There were no fingerprints on his skin or clothing, no defensive wounds, no environmental signs of struggle, like he'd just fallen out of the sky and landed there. My partner, Ruiz, found something odd a few days later during a search of the surrounding woods. An old hunting trail that didn't show up on any map led to a stone foundation, remains of a cabin long gone. But beneath it, hidden under loose earth, was a cellar door. Inside, candles burned low in rusted holders, a ring of animal bones, carvings on the wall that looked like writing, except the letters didn't belong to any language we knew. There was a photograph pinned to the far wall, sealed in plastic. It was a photo of the dead man. Only it looked like it had been taken with a modern DSLR camera, high resolution, time-stamped 2 weeks before the body was found. That night, Ruiz started acting off. He said he heard scratching sounds from his motel closet, said he was dreaming of being buried alive. He didn't come to work the next morning. They found him, naked in the woods, curled in the same shallow grave where the body had been discovered, except the body was gone. Dirt was freshly disturbed, as if someone or something had climbed out. We submitted the findings, of course. DC locked the whole thing down. No press, no autopsy records. I was reassigned within the week. Ruiz was institutionalized. He stopped speaking, just hummed this low, droning tone over and over. I went back once a year later. The cellar had collapsed, or been collapsed. Someone made sure no one would find that place again.
I've been a realtor in Southern Maryland for nearly 2 decades. I've seen mold so thick it looked like carpet, snakes in attics, squatters sleeping in closets, but nothing like Ward's Run Road. The property was a 2-story colonial built in 1910, tucked back off a gravel path with no mailbox. The owner had passed, no family, just a distant cousin out in Delaware who wanted it sold fast, as is. I scheduled an open house on a Saturday in October. I remember that part because it was the first day it dipped below 50, and the whole place still smelled like summer. I got there early to unlock the door. The key was in a rusted lockbox, and when I opened the front door, the air inside hit me like a wall, warm, humid, and heavy, like a greenhouse. I figured the AC was busted, so I went to open the windows. That's when I saw the handprints. Every mirror in the house, bathroom, hall, bedroom, had small handprints. Not greasy or dusty, but clear, like condensation had formed around them. Some were high, some were low. They looked like kids' hands. But here's the thing. The glass was cold, the air was warm, the prints were on the inside. I tried to clean one with my sleeve, but the outline stayed, almost like it was underneath the surface.
I nearly left, but I figured I could explain it away to buyers. Quirky old house, needs TLC, the usual. People showed up, a young couple, a single dad, a woman from La Plata, all normal folks, but the energy shifted the moment they stepped inside. One woman said her ears popped. Another said her phone battery dropped from 90% to 0. A guy stepped into the upstairs hallway and said he felt like he'd walk through a spider web even though there were none. Then a little boy, I think he was with the single dad, started crying uncontrollably in the master bedroom. Said the girl in the closet was too loud. I checked. Empty. But here's what made me walk. As the last couple was leaving, I noticed the full-length mirror in the entryway had fogged over, like bathroom steam. I leaned in to wipe it. My own reflection stared back at me, except it didn't move when I did. I blinked. She didn't. I turned my head. She stared straight ahead. Then she smiled. That was it. I left the key on the counter and locked the door from the inside. I climbed out the back window and never returned. I called the cousin and told him to find another agent. He didn't argue. Said he'd hire a company from out of state. Didn't want anything more to do with it either. Last I heard, the house never sold. The listing vanished. And a year later, Google Street View blurred the property out completely, like it just stopped existing. But sometimes I still get calls from unknown numbers, and when I answer, it's just breathing. Like someone very small on the other end. We never published this case. It was supposed to be a standard investigation for our YouTube channel, Midnight Signal Investigations. But something happened on Cobb Island that made all of us walk away. We got contacted by a woman named Dana Mills. She'd inherited her parents' waterfront home and was trying to sell it. The problem? She said the house wouldn't stay empty. Lights turned on after breakers were pulled. Her motion sensors triggered constantly. And she swore the walls breathed at night. She started sleeping in her truck. We set up 4 cameras: living room, hallway, upstairs bedroom, and the basement. Dana stayed outside while we ran baseline checks. It was a modern home, nothing creepy about it, until I touched the hallway wall and felt heat coming from inside the drywall. No furnace nearby, no wires, just this steady warmth, like someone exhaling. Around 1 a.m., the living room cam glitched, just a pop of static and silence. When I went to check, the camera had been moved, not knocked over, moved. It was lying gently on its side, as if placed that way. Then the basement door slammed shut. My teammate Shane had been downstairs. He radioed in, said he didn't close it, swore he heard someone walking above him. The air was thick. Every floorboard seemed to creak on its own. Marco, our third investigator, was reviewing hallway footage when he said he saw a woman in white walk past the camera. We pulled the feed. There was no one, but there was a black screen, exactly 3 seconds long where the data should have been. At 3:06 a.m., I was checking the basement cam when something appeared in one frame. Just a flash, but I swear, I saw it. A pale figure, bent at the knees backward, arms twisted, joints wrong. It was crouched in the corner, staring directly into the lens, and then it smiled. I blinked, rewound the footage. Gone. That morning, Dana signed the house over to a non-profit and left town. She never went back inside. The house was scheduled for demolition, but last I checked, it's still standing. Someone even bought it last year, but the records are sealed. 2 weeks later, Shane woke up with claw marks down his back, deep ones, no explanation. Then Marco told me one of our tapes was missing. tape 4, the one that captured the glitch. That was the last time I heard from him. He moved out, deleted everything, left me a voicemail. It's still watching. Don't look back. I didn't, and I never will.
Like and subscribe for more eerie tales.